Hi, my name is Ryan and you know I'm a nutritionist and I'm working with a lot of people at the Core Nutrition Clinic. Now as a chief nutritionist, every day I come across a lot of problems. Now I am in the domain of sports, but most people are coming to our clinics with one issue and that's gut health. Now what is gut? Gut is your stomach, your esophagus, your intestine, small intestine, large intestine, and it could range from anything from bad breath right up till bleeding in your stools or constipation. So today I just want to spend a little time with you. This video is for people who have issues with their gut or who have loved ones who have issues with their gut. I'm going to give you some insights on why you want to change the way you eat or the food choices that you have, and hopefully over 10-15 minutes you discover what you need to do as an activity. Now, in terms of gut health, one very interesting thing that I want to show you is that we need to understand our gut, okay? So in your gut, you have your stomach, you have your pancreas, your food goes in a clockwise manner. So you go clockwise manner and your food digests and comes out. So it's got the upper GI and the lower GI. Now all of this is subject to food day in and day out. It is going like you eat one meal, two meal, three meal. It's like a traffic jam. Every day some traffic is going and then it's exiting. Some traffic is going in and it's exiting. So input and output are two important things that you need to judge to see if your gut is in good health. Okay? So one thing that you need to understand is the lining of your gut. Imagine the lining of your gut like a beautiful carpet with microvilli. Okay? Now when you have masala, gisala and all allergic type of food, it goes and attacks these beautiful carpet-like structures. So imagine in the airport, that carpet looks all worn out and all. That is a person who has an irritable bowel, who has a gut system problem. But if you don't have that problem and you eat the right foods without all of the food poisoning or external cheap restaurant foods, yes, restaurants buy the cheapest quality raw material, cheapest oils and feed that with the best possible taste to you. So those goes and attacks your gut over years and years, and these microvilli, okay, that are there, they get affected. But this is one of my training courses. I'm doing a gut health training courses for dietitians and nutritionists across the country. This one is not for the dietitian, this one is for you, the consumer who has a gut health. So let me just go forward and I want to show you one reason. Okay, we have a huge quantity of bacteria in our stomach. So once you have a system, let's take the physical part, there's also a life inside that. That life is got 2 kgs almost of bacteria in you. Now these bacteria can be good, can be bad, can be ugly. If you stay in a neighborhood, like if your neighborhood is a dirty neighborhood, then that means the people in the neighborhood are dirty. If your neighborhood is very clean, that means the people in the neighborhood are very clean. So like that, you can have good bacteria, you can have bad bacteria. Okay? And we have about 100 trillion bacteria and viruses and microorganisms and all of those guys inside of us, which means you and I are more microorganism than the cells of the human body. So it might pay careful attention to change your microflora. Microflora is called these guys, which are the bacteria. Okay? So these bacteria can be 2 types. They can be good bacteria and then can be bad bacteria. People who are on the fatter side, they have a higher amount of the bad bacteria, so they tend to be more obese, more on the heavier side. So if you want to lose weight, you might want to get these bad bacteria pushed out of the body and you want to come to your good bacteria. Okay, so I just want to take you, there's so much of learning that I have over here in terms of immune system and all. Some of this is very private in our teaching program, which I don't want to get into the details of it. But there's one over here that I want to show you, which is the main slide. Now this is microbial diversity across the world. We have Indians going from here to study in UK, to study in America. Indians have settled down in America. The diversity of the microbe is different. Like for example in India, we have Prevotella SA, which is higher because of a plant-based diet. And in America, that same green part over here is actually very, very tiny, because it's predominantly a protein-based diet. So when Indians relocate to any other part of the world, this is one reason why you get an irritable bowel syndrome, because for centuries Your gut has been used to a certain type of bacteria which is genetically linked to your environment. And nobody's talking about this in the world today. That I travel from here to there. Your food for centuries and centuries has been without airline travel, without visas and without passports. So now when you go relocate to a new country with a new citizenship, hang on. You get a new passport, but your gut doesn't get a new passport. Food for thought. You need to contact a nutritionist in India and you need to find out how to choose those foods which are kind of localized to the genes. Okay, so when I speak of genes, what I wanted to show you was, I just want to show you the genes, which is, we do the nutrition gene test, okay? So for example, when you do a nutrition gene test, I come to know whether you should take carbohydrate and whether you gain weight or whatever. Now, what happens is when I go to US, I go to a high protein diet. Does that change my genetics? What do I do? Okay, in terms of oil, in fact, I have found out that mostly we Indians have a very high saturated fat intake, okay? Very, very high saturated fat intake. Like for example, MUFA, which is MUFA. Now MUFA is monounsaturated fats, is found in your olive oil. Everybody says Mediterranean diet is very good. Arey Baba, the Mediterranean diet is for the Europeans, man. Indian gene that we're testing right now says saturated fat is good. Ooh, saturated fat is good. It's coming in coconut oil. Okay? Yeah, I know if you're from North India, you don't have much of coconut oil, but think about it. These things were made over centuries by cold press. So you would have the local oil, the sesame oil, okay, the till, or you would have the mustard, or the ginger, or the coconut oil in this part of the world, which where I am from South India. And we used to have these cold press oils. Now everything is chemically extracted, and that's affecting the gut again. So deviating slightly, but what I wanted to show you was that we can discover each of these, and when a person comes to me and says, "Ryan, my gut is hurting, I get loose motions all the time, I'm on acidity pills, I'm puking blood, I'm pooping blood," this happens. Okay? I just start looking at all the vitamins, okay? So you got vitamin B12, vitamin B6, okay, we look at vitamin B9, vitamin D, we look at vitamin E, we look at vitamin K. What else are we looking at? We're looking at calcium needs. So we're looking at everything possible under the sun, okay? Looking at iron, we're looking at magnesium. Yeah, a lot of people say, but don't you do this in a blood test? Blood test in your blood is transient. Genetics say, is your gene powerful enough to lift up iron from your diet and process and assimilate it? So, as a nutritionist, we look at something called as epigenetics. Epigenetics is the behavior of the environment, which is the food, the air, the sun, your job, your family, all of this psychological, which works on your gut. So, if I'm able to get the gene test done and the blood test done, I'm like astrologer. I'm going into your crystal ball. Hey, I can predict that in 2025 you will start pooping blood, and by 2030 you will be dead. Jokes apart, forgive my dry sense of humor, but here's the point. Okay, we do this because doctors will give you medicines, but medicines do not cure the root cause of the problem. Let's understand what's the root cause of the problem. It could be something as simple. Your magnesium receptor is not absorbing. Now, what does magnesium got to do with gut health? Do you know 90% of constipation problems can be solved with just magnesium more in your diet? Because magnesium is responsible for your smooth muscle contraction as the food goes through your intestine. And if magnesium is deficient, so the magnesium has to go to your leg muscles, hand muscles, heart muscle, but the pooping muscles or the digestive muscles say, oh, I don't have enough of stock. Hang on, let's not shit for 3 days. And then you have inflammation, and then you have toxicity inside of you. So I'm trying to get people to understand that something as simple as a magnesium receptor can create a lot of issues for you. But coming back to my gut health, okay, that's something that I wanted to something I wanted to show you about. But the other thing that I wanted to show you about, if I can get this stupid screen to work. Okay, which one was that? Yeah. I wanted to ask people, do you have these following symptoms? So before I go to the generator, do you have cramps, constipation, diarrhea, heartburn, gas, bloating, food allergies, we do food allergy testing, food intolerance, inflammation. People are bloated, people are getting pimples, people are getting acne, people are getting skin rashes, psoriasis. Psoriasis is linked to your gut. If you have a skin issue, if you have alopecia areata, your hair is falling out, your eyebrows are falling out, you have vitiligo, all of it is related to your gut. Yes, I know it's genetic, but the environment is triggering that to come at an earlier age. So I have 20 to 30 year olds expressing skin disorders because their gut is not good. Why? Because when you go to a hospital, what food do you eat? You eat all crap. So here's the thought process. If you have a delicate darling stomach, by the way, I have a delicate darling stomach. So I'm very cautious. I'm not cautious on what I eat because I'm a nutritionist. I'm cautious because I have a gluten intolerance, I have a lactose intolerance, I have a gut which is very sensitive to masala, gisala and all of that stuff. So I watch my food very carefully because guess what? Nobody is sitting with you in the toilet next morning. So you go for a party, hey, eat this, hey, drink that, oh, you can have 4 pegs of whiskey. But that person is not sitting with you in the next morning, and if you know what I'm talking about, you have a gut problem because you face it every day. So this presentation is to help people understand that yes, if you come on to learn what is there in your blood, your genetics, your diet, all of these things, you can slowly begin to re-heal your gut. And by the way, we successfully do it in core nutrition. Okay, so what are the signs that come out? I find children get difficulty in concentration, anxiety, depression. We see this in adults. Candida overgrowth. This is a yeast infection. I ask you to stick out a tongue and it's full white. I know you have a Candida infection. Vaginal discharge. This is a Candida infection. So when people have Candida, it means your gut has gone over balance. The acid-base balance has gone for a toss. You need to balance your food correctly. And even asthma. This is very interesting. Okay, because in terms of asthma, there's one thing I've known about asthma. Asthma increases the ESR and inflammation rate. If the inflammation and ESR is higher, the person will get more asthma attacks. How do you get lesser asthma attacks? Roll in the gut. Make your gut stronger. The immunity system goes up. When the immunity system goes up, you have a better tolerance to pollen and other triggers that cause your asthma. By the way, even headaches are linked to the gut. Clearly linked. I had a case patient, she had chronic migraines for her entire life. 3 weeks on a nutritionally balanced plan after the genetic test came in, her headaches disappeared. It was linked to a nutritional deficiency and putting the wrong foods in her body. So the wrong foods kind of get the headache, and the lack of good nutrition helped her from not battling that migraine and manifesting it as severe headaches. So please remember, if you're getting a lot of headaches, you're having constipation, these are all linked. Gut is linked to the brain. So I just want to get to that one slide. So one of my favorite tips that I'm going to give you today, and if you're watching this video, glutamine works very well to heal the gut lining if you have a gut lining problem. But if you take glutamine without a proper medical direction, that is, you don't know when to give it and how much to give it, it actually causes bloating. So you have to work with a nutritionist to use glutamine to heal your gut lining. And when you heal your gut lining, absorption of nutrition gets better. So this is one tip that I wanted to give you today. The other one was, these are the most number of cases that we get in our clinic. We get something known as the irritable bowel syndrome. It's called the IBS. Now in the IBS, the most important thing that I have seen is SIBO. SIBO is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Your small intestine is not supposed to have bacteria. But for some strange reason, the bacteria from the larger intestine, which is down there, starts climbing back and going up and infecting the SIBO. So you get bloating. Bloating is a key sign of SIBO. You might do a test called H. pylori, and you might see that you've got that thing and you have to take a lot of antibiotics for it. Why does this happen? It happens because of erratic food timings, wrong food put into your body, and removal of the ancient foods that healed your body. For example, homemade curd. We no longer make curd at home because the curd we get from outside is dead curd. Dead curd means it's pasteurized. There's no bacteria growing in it. If they allowed curd with bacteria in it, the bottles and the packages would explode in the supermarket because of the fermentation by the bacteria, which would produce gas and make the curd or the bottle or whatever boom, go kaboom. But because they pasteurize it, they kill the bacteria, so you get only the protein, but no good bacteria. You want to get the good bacteria, start making curd at home. If you're lactose intolerant, well, you can make lactose-free curd. I got the secret recipe how to make lactose-free curd. Email us if you want that recipe. Okay. The next thing I wanted to show you is nobody talks about poop. Okay. I am Dr. Shit. What does Dr. Shit mean? Dr. Shit means when somebody comes to me, the first question I ask them, I'm like, hello, Mr. XYZ, how is your potty? Usually client goes like that. What is it talking about potty? He's a nutritionist, he should not ask me about potty. It's like, do you go to the toilet? Yes, I do. Do you go at the same time of the day? No, I don't. Yes, I do. When you go at the same time of the day or different times of the day, what's your potty like? Is it like, like a gooey kind of thing like this? Or is it firm like this, which looks like a Snickers bar? Or is it small, boat shaped like this? These are important points. Nobody ever talks. We have discovered in our counseling, I've had 9-year-olds tell me what their potty is like, and the mother's like, but he never told me I go to the potty 3 times a day. Yeah, children will not tell you. Adults, husband and wife, you get up and say, hello, good morning, love, how are you? How was your potty today? Nobody discusses that. So potty is very, very personal. But let me tell you something. When you come to your nutritionist, if your nutritionist is freaking not asking you about your bowel movement and how does your how does your potty look like, use this nutritionist. First of all, they're too, shy to ask you about it or too embarrassed. I am not embarrassed. How's your body today? Did you poop? Was it smelly? Right? If it was smelly, did it smell the bathroom? Did it smell the bedroom? Did it smell the whole house down? Did you fart today? And if your fart is there, okay, your wind that came. So let's say I farted today. The room should not smell, which means my potty, my gut, my system is good. But if it stinks up, what did I eat which my bacteria did not like, which started fermenting that and produced obnoxious smells? So there are a lot of things that you can discover by just asking about potty. So if your potty is on the smaller side and liquid side and you're going 3-4 times a day, and you're an adult, and when you go on potty and you sit on that throne and you finish and then you come out of the bathroom and you say, I don't feel like I went, I want to go back in. That's called incomplete bowel evacuation. Matlab, khali nahi. You feel that something is there in. Such people have gut issues and they can be solved with proper fiber, proper elimination of the food triggers. So for example, if you have gluten makes you want to potty all the time. Gluten causes so many things, but if you eliminate gluten, your potty gets better. But having said all of this, in the irritable bowel syndrome, when you have frequent bowel evacuation, you go to potty or stool 3-4 times a day, you can get piles, hemorrhoids or fistula, which are bleeders inside the bottom part of your intestine. So very, very important. There are a lot of things that we can do. So I just want to show you, what we do. Okay. So so basically, if I can expand this. So I have a person over here who came in with medical bowel syndrome. Okay, any meal she was eating, she could not keep it down, and this is not one case. We have hundreds of cases. My team are they don't like it, but I call some of them the poop queens, which means when you have a good dump, when you have a good potty, your life is beautiful. And people who have irritable bowel syndrome are going to the toilet 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day and nobody knows about it. So the point is, these people come to us and say, look, I have an irritable bowel syndrome. Like, okay, let's do the gene testing. Let's figure out gluten, lactose. Let's figure out your PUFAs. Let's figure out your vitamins, your minerals. Let's figure out your magnesium. How is your potty forming? Is it forming better? Let's look at even your bacteria by doing a stool test. A lot of people are very shy to do that. In fact, the latest now is they do the genetic analysis of the stools, which is like, wow, that's like the next level. That's like going to Mars. Like we are right now at moon level. We have not yet got to Mars, so I have not yet started asking for gene testing of your bacteria, which is there in your poop. But that's also. But jokes apart, let me come back to you. What do we do? Okay, I hope this screen is going to be visible. Okay, so we start off with different things. Now, by the way, I know some of you out there are looking to copy this. Please do not copy. One size does not fit anybody in a irritable bowel syndrome. For all the dietitians and nutritionists watching this, I am launching the gut health training course next month. You can register for it to give you insights on how to do it correctly. Just because you see aloe vera juice here, don't freaking go out and buy aloe vera juice all over again and say give it to your client. Okay, aloe vera juice, drink it. Okay, there's enough of Google out there, there's enough of my mother out there, there's enough of my aunties out there, there's enough of people out there, including my own clients, telling me how to eat correctly when we freaking go and study this for 5-6 years of our education life. There's a process. Please don't copy it. Okay, coming back. So what we do, we look at the whole thing. We look at the protein, we look at the carb, we look at the fat. Who am I? I am the policeman. I'm the policeman that says, okay, this can go into the mouth. Then as a policeman, I know how this person drives to your body. And then I know when it goes into your stomach. As a policeman, I can control the traffic and how it comes out. That's very important. So here's the thing, okay? I'm using glutamine in the morning to heal the stomach. Oops, why is it not going up? So we've got breakfast timing, we've got a supplement. So I like to give, so this person had a B complex deficiency. Do you know why IBS people have vitamin deficiencies? Because the gut is so ravished, so smashed up that the body cannot absorb anything, which is why you get loses. So over a period of time, starts at IBS, people don't talk about it, then they start getting weaker, they start getting headaches, then they start fainting, then they start getting BP problems, then they start losing weight. So everything happens and nobody is there to talk about it. So these are things that we do, okay? Now when we choose foods, there's something known as the FODMAP. There are only certain foods on the planet that you can choose. And the certain foods on the planet, let me see if I have it over here. Here it is. There are certain foods on the planet which you can use, which is rice, coconut, carrot, cucumber. So these are the foods. These are the foods that you can choose. Okay. These are all the foods that you can choose, which are tick mark in IBS. You cannot have any other than these foods. So it's almost like a prison sentence diet. So IBS people, when they come to us, we literally put them into a prison sentence, saying that for the next 6 months, these are the only things that you can do. One more tip for people at IBS, you can use a peppermint oil, and I'm giving you the secret over here, 450 to 750 milligrams. Peppermint oil helps calm the gut, but there's a secret where to take it. When I'm going to give you the secret, well, you share my page and I'll give you the secret. You don't share my page, okay? Next thing, let's go to the, I was over here, right? So I wanted to show you, this is the stuff that we do, okay? And coordination. By the way, I just want to show you, okay? We get all the assessments, we get the dietary recall. We take everything possible, the likes, the dislikes of the person, what supplements they were taking, what foods are they allergic to. Then we look at the food schedule, what time you wake up, what time you sleep, all of these things that are there. The person goes to college, travel time, so and so time, breakfast, what time, what do they have. All of this is what they tell us that they are doing. By the way, this takes a solid 1.5 hours just to get out of you. So when you go to a medical doctor, he's like, okay, finish, 40 minutes is over. We are not with medication, we need to know food. Food is our medication, so it takes a lot of time for us to do all of these things. Okay? So, these are the supplements. These are the supplements that I'm working with. It's magnesium, I'm working with glutamine. And look at my glutamine, how I'm giving the dosage at different times of day. I'm working on a probiotic, I'm working on licorice extract, I'm working on digestive enzymes, I'm working on a polyprobiotic, which is a specialized probiotic. I'm working on zinc, which will help heal the microbiome. Zinc is one thing, and you need to know which zinc you have to give because the various types of zinc. Vitamin D. Did you know vitamin D is linked to testosterone. Testosterone is linked to regeneration of cells, and vitamin D is also linked to immune system, which helps protect against the attack of the microbiota. So it's all like interconnected. Superfoods that we give our clients: jeera water, lactose-free milk, orange, kiwi, apple, as per the format, aloe vera, turmeric, lactose-free. Now all of this, if you see, is represented in the diet chart that we give my client. We even plan the protein, the carbs and everything. So if you see over here, this is the diet chart, and we know every meal. Can you see this? I can actually tell you in every meal that I'm giving you what is the percentage of carbs. So carb over here is 81%, and I'm getting 71.8 grams, okay, and 6.4 in terms of calories, sorry, and 2.5 in terms of protein. So at the end of the day, I'm even knowing how much my meal is. So the percentage wise on this whole basis, that was every meal, and then this is the whole day planner. So that way we do it for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's a prison sentence based on what to eat, what not to eat, and 7 days a week, and then we started with the supplements and we start the healing process. So the IBS case philosophy in core nutrition is not something that is taken very lightly. It comes at a premium. Yes, we are one of the most expensive nutrition clinics in the country, but we have successfully solved cases that in medical terminology, they say that only medication and don't do this. It's basically simple logic. If medicine didn't exist for the last 300 years, how did people heal themselves for the last 20,000 years? They knew what to eat, they knew what not to eat. So I leave this thought with you that if you know somebody who has an irritable bowel syndrome, somebody who goes on potties 3-4 times a day, somebody who has blood in their stools, somebody who has frequent belching or burping, somebody who has bad breath, somebody who has severe griping or gastritis. These are people who have an irritable bowel. The bowel is irritated. If you have a boss who comes to work very, very angry every day, you might want to give that boss this Diwali a nutrition plan, because I can guarantee you that boss of yours is not pooping properly every morning, and because he's not pooping properly every morning, he's taking out his frustration. Because science has shown that when you don't have a proper gut, you have a very, very, very charged up mind in a negative way. My name is Fernando. I am the Chief Nutritionist and Founder at Core Nutrition. I hope this video lasts for very long and is shared out there. We are here to help people. We do earn our bread and butter by charging you a consultation fee for the IBS program. For more details, you can refer to my page. You can refer to my website, ryanfernando.in. You can go to my company, which is corenutrition.com. All you have to do is remember corenutrition.com. Go to the website, book an appointment. We'll call you back. We'll explain everything to you. Thank you. God bless.